Hello and welcome to this tutorial video. We're working on the clothing store right now. We're calling Shanta's Boutique. We've added the last video. We added our header, we included our bootstrap files, and we created this parallax effect on our full page header. So if you didn't check that out, go ahead and check that out in our previous video. This video is going to be really quick. We're just going to add our body content, and we're going to make use of the bootstrap modal to have a pop-up window happen. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take care of that. Let's see, I should have been a little more prepared here. Alright, so here in our file, in the last video we added all this lorem ipsum so that we could scroll our page. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Alright, so right here we have our header. I'm going to make another, I'm going to call this left sidebar. Alright, and for the left sidebar we're just going to do a div. Actually, what we have to do before we do that is we need to wrap this entire page, or since it's not in, we need to wrap this in a div, and we're going to give it a container fluid. This is a bootstrap class that basically allows our page to be responsive. So anything that we put in here, we can make use of Bootstrap's grid system. So that's what we're going to do. That we have our container fluid here, and what we're going to do is inside of here we're going to create another div. We're going to give it a class of column medium 2. Alright, now remember, in Bootstrap, the grid system, all of the columns need to add up to 12. I don't know why they did that, but it doesn't matter. But the full a column of 12 would be the full width of the screen. So you can do any combination. You can do 12 1s, 6 2s, or whatever you want. But what we're going to do is a 3-column layout. So I'm going to go ahead and add a comment here as well, just so we can stay on top of our commenting, and to make it easier later when we go to split this up. So I'm going to call this left sidebar. Right? So go ahead and close this div. We're not, for now, just so we can kind of see what's going on, I'm going to put left sidebar here. Alright, and then I'm going to create another, and we'll call this main content, and we're going to create a div here with a class of column, our breakpoints, the medium screen size, and we're going to have it take up 8 of the grid width. Alright, close that out, and we'll do one more for our 3-column layout here. So this is going to be right sidebar. We're going to put some widgets in there. We'll build those later. And we're going to give that a class of column medium breakpoint 2. So what you can see here is that, and inside of this div, for a placeholder, I'm going to put right sidebar. So you can see we have 2 plus 8 plus 2 is 12. It's all inside of our div of container fluid here. So I can actually, here I'm going to put main so that you can see that. We'll save that out and we'll refresh the page. And if we scroll down here, we've got our left sidebar, and then we have main, which actually goes, all the way across here, and then we have our right sidebar here that I misspelled. I'm horrible at spelling, and even worse at typing. So good luck to you guys trying to learn watching my videos. All right, so what we're going to focus on today is this main content here. And we're going to add a row in here. So I'm going to do div class row. All right. Like I said, I like to open and close all my stuff so I don't forget it. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give right here, I'll do h2, and I'll give it class, and this is a bootstrap class of text center, right? And we're going to call this featured products. Right. So now we're going to start creating our columns, and I want these products to be a grid of 4, and they're going to like span, so there'll be 4 of them across. So we're going to have to do a column width of 3. So we're going to do each of our divs. We're going to do each of our divs here of column medium breakpoint of 3. And then, so inside of here, now I want to give h4 tags to have have a header here, and just for a placeholder, we're going to put Levi's jeans. All right, this is a clothing store, so we're just going to make up some crap here, and then we're going to have an image. And the source of the image, let's see, let me open my images. Image inside the products here, I have quite a few sample deals we're going to use. But so here we're going to say images, products, and let's do men4.png. I'm also going to give this an alt tag for like screen readers, and I'm just going to give it the same Levi's jeans. Alright. And for whatever reason, HTML5, you're supposed to do that. They got rid of the closing tags within BRs and HRs, but for image tags, they left it. I'm not sure why, but if you want it to validate, you need to do that. Let's see here. And then we're going to create a paragraph tag, and we're going to give this a class of list, list-price, and a class of text danger. All right. Close that out. This is we're gonna target this later. We're gonna make this red, but I'm gonna say list price wow. All right, and then do bold here. I'm going to put a price, kind of a high price here, $54.99, because we want that to be higher than what our price of our Shanta's Boutique is going to be. All right, and then let's go ahead and put another p tag, class equals price, in case we want to do something with the styling of that later. All right, and in this paragraph tag, I'm just going to say our price, which is so much better than list. We're going to say $19.99. Okay, the last thing we want to do is put a button here so they can click on it, and this button is actually going to target our we're going to make use of the Bootstrap modal, which is just a little pop-up color box type thing where it dims the background. We'll see an example of that. So anyway, let's do a button here, and we're going to do type equals, if I can spell, we'll do type equals button. We're going to do class. I give it a bunch of classes here. Button small. And this is all on Bootstrap's website if you need to look this up. And button success, we're just going to make it like a green button. Those are all predefined button classes. And so that we can open our modal, we need to give it a data toggle equal to modal. And we need to give it a data target. For now, we're going to target details -1. Later, we're going to replace that with the actual ID and details. Close our button tag. Alright, I'll just break this down to the next line here. So, yep, button type equals button, class of button, button small, button success, data toggle of modal, and data target of ID details 1. Alright, so let's take a look at what that looks like on the page. I save that out and refresh the page. So nice, we have this here. That S tag did our little strike through of our list price, $54.99, and it made it red because we gave it a class of text danger. And we have our price. Then we have our details here, which isn't going to open a modal because we haven't created the modal yet. But you can see this only takes up a little bit of space. We're going to be able to fit 4 of them across here in our main deal here. So here's our H2 features products tag. This is an H4, and then here's our image and our 2 paragraphs. That's all we're going to do for that. What I want to do is I actually want to copy this whole thing now, just to quickly fill up our page. And later this is going to be dynamically generated, so we're not going to keep all this anyway, but I want it to kind of look nice on the page until we get there. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of space. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to give us 8 of them. So you can just go and look at that if I want. So now we have 8 of the same exact products, but let's go ahead and switch that up to be a little more realistic. So let's see. After Levi's jeans, we're going to put a Hollister shirt. Hollister shirt. I don't know if this is a Hollister shirt. I don't even really know what Hollister looks like. I don't even know why I put Hollister. It just came to mind when I picked that. So yeah. But anyways, that's going to be the same path except for min 1. And change my alt tag to Hollister shirt. We're going to change the list price on that bad boy because it's probably not $55. We'll do $25, and we'll do $19.99 again. I meant on the prices. This should have been $34.99. That's a little more realistic. By the way, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is just placeholder text. It's all dummy text. So the next one we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do these both at the same time. We're going to do our fancy shoes. Alright, and those are $69.99. But our price is $49.99. Just making all these up. And that image was women 6. So women 6. Okay. Now we're going to do a boys hoodie. So highlight that. This is why I like Sublime. Sublime is the first editor that I saw that could do this. You can control and click in multiple spots, and you can type in multiple places. But Atom utilizes that. They kind of based their editor on Sublime Text, so I'm glad they brought that feature over. Another editor that's real similar to this is Adobe released one called Brackets that's real similar, and it also does the same thing. I like Atom. Atom's a little slower loading than Brackets, but it has a few features that I like. So let's see here. Got sidetracked. So the price of our fancy, or our boys hoodie here, is $24.99, and our price on that's going to be $18.99. All right. Only have a couple more to do here. So here we're going to do a girl's dress, and that thing lists for $34.99, and our price is going to be $22.99. And that picture was called Girls 3. Excuse me. And we're going to do, I must have skipped some here. Oh, I did. That's okay. Up here, let's do a women's. I don't know why I started with brands and now I'm just like woman's shirt. So anyways, we'll do a woman's shirt, and we're gonna make that bad boy $45.99 and $29.99 our price, and that is woman 7. Women 7. Alright, so now we're down to 2 left. So we'll do a skirt. Women's skirt. And I forgot to do that, so I'm just going to copy that, replace my alt tag here. Yep. And the skirt is going to be $29.99 list, and our price, let's make that $19.99 again. Alright. And the last one, I know this is repetitive, but it's going to make our page look pretty good. We're almost done. Let's just add a purse. So we have all clothes, but we don't just sell clothes. We have some accessories, so we want our featured products on our home page to reflect that. So, and again, I forgot to do here in the alt tag, so we'll do purse. I don't know how much purses cost, but it seems like they're more expensive than clothes. So we're gonna do like $49.99 and $39.99 for. I don't know who would pay $40 for a purse. I guess women, but I've seen people pay $600 for a purse, honestly. So, not me, not my wife. Oh, my wife doesn't even own a purse. But let's look at this real quick. All right, and it's broke. Oh, it's not broke. We gotta do some styling, some basic styling to make this. The image sizes all be the same and everything. So let's go ahead and take care of that real quick. Let's see. So what we want to have happen is, let's see, all of these images should have had a class associated with them of image thumb. So right here in the image tag, let's go ahead and do I'll show you why I like this, because I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm just going to put this in all of my image tags, put my cursors there. Alright. And all of these needed to have a class of, well, you can give them anything because this isn't a bootstrap, this is a class we're defining. So bootstrap has nothing to do with this. So what we're going to call it img-thumb. And so I'll save that, and then in our CSS file, let's give this, we're going to target it. Now to target a class, you use a period instead of a pound sign. So image thumb, and let's give that a width of auto. And this is what we really want to control on this, is the height, because we want it to be like rows that they all match up. So we're going to give it a height of 200 pixels. And that's going to control the height, and then it's going to stay, the images will stay proportionate because we have width auto. If we would have set both of those, depending on the size of the image, it probably would have looked kind of weird. So let me see what that looks like now. So let's save that out, refresh the page, and now you can see they line up really nice. And we forgot to change some of these images, so let's go back and do that real quick. Boys, let's see, the boys hoodie was boys 1, so let's find that. Boys hoodie right here, that was boys 1. And then let's see, the girl's dress was girls 3. The woman's skirt was women 3. Women 3. And so sorry about this, guys. The purse was probably not supposed to be men. Let me see here if I can figure out which one the purse is supposed to be. Let me look at these real quick. It's a woman 7, I think. Nope. Nope. Woman 5 is a purse. Woman 5. And was that the only one? Let's see. Fancy shoes. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Save it and refresh. There we go. So we got a skirt. Oh, look at that. It's starting to look like a store now. So now we got these details. The last thing we're going to add real quick, not the last thing, but we're going to add a footer here. So let's go down to the bottom of the page here. And right here, after our sidebar, and after our div actually, our closing div, that's the wrapper. So we want this to be full page as well. So we're just going to add a new div. We can actually, as of HTML5, we can do footer, which is the same as a div. It's just a different way to name it. I'm going to give this a class, a bootstrap class of text center. And let's see here. Let's get back to our, let's see. Excuse me really quick. Alright. I'm going to give it going to give it another class so that we can, I'll give it an ID, a footer, so that we can give it a little margin. And let's see, here what we want to do is we're going to give it the HTML copyright symbol. And I'm going to say copyright 2013 through 2015 Shanta's Boutique. Alright. So let's save that. Let's go to our main CSS real quick and let's go ahead and target that footer and give it some margin top of, let's keep everything away from it by 50 pixels. Refresh, and we got this, and we got 50 pixels of space there. It's coming together. So the last thing that we need to do that we're going to do today is this little modal, so that when we click this, the light box will pop up with our details in it. So let's take care of that really quick. Back on our index page, I'm going to put this underneath the footer, and let's go ahead and let's call this details modal. This we'll move this off the page later as well, but so the details modal, we're going to create a div, and we're going to give this thing a class modal fade details -1. We're going to give it an ID of details -1. Let's see, we need a tab index, index of -1, role equals dialog. This is all from Bootstrap's website. Details 1. Alright, that's a long line of code there, but alright, inside of that, let's see, we create another div, lots of divs. This is going to have lots of divs in it, so follow along and keep everything nested or tabbed correctly so it's easy to see. So we're going to give this a class of modal dialog and modal -lg for large. We're going to have a large dialog, or large modal, excuse me. Alright, inside of that, what we're going to do is we're going to make a div as a class of modal-header. Alright, now in the modal header we need to give it a button, and this is the close button. So class equals close, type equals button, data dismiss, modal label equals close. And then what we're going to do is inside of this button, We need to give it a span. I'm gonna look these area hidden things up. I think that has to do with screen readers, but not 100% certain on that. If any of you know exactly what that does, you can leave it in the comments below. And if you want, I guess you can call me stupid for not knowing, but I haven't read up on what Bootstrap's doing that for. So anyways. Alright, so that is our close button. And then what we're going to do is also within that header, but underneath that button here, let's give it an H4, the class of modal title. H4. And also I want to give it a class of text center. We're just going to give it, we're going to create the first one, Levi's jeans. Now, this is all going to be dynamic later. It's going to be drawn basically from the database, and you'll see the buttons will have an ID associated with them, and so it will pull the information into this modal that way. So we're going to write that later, but for now we're going to make a dummy one. Alright, so now we need to do the body. So right here in line with the we can get out of the header, and this one is modal body for a class, and we need to give inside of here, we're going to create a, like I said, this is div soup here. So we're going to give this a class of container fluid so that we can do columns in here as well. So container fluid, you have to spell it correctly. And I promise we are almost done. We just got to take care of some stuff here. Do a div class equals row. Alright, now let's get to some content. So in this row, we're going to create 2 more divs, and we're going to split this in half. So let's go ahead and create our 2 divs now, and those are going to be class of column, small breakpoint with 6. And if you don't know what this stuff is, I encourage you guys to go ahead and go to Bootstrap's website and just look through their documentation. After you have some practice with it, I mean, this is super easy once you understand what their classes do. And I don't remember everything. I look it up all the time. I usually, when I'm developing something with Bootstrap, I generally have the Bootstrap's tab open in my browser, and I just constantly reference it and copy code from it. Alright, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and put in our information here. In the first div, we are going to do the image, and that's all we're going to put in the first one. So go ahead and open an image tag. Let's see if I can. We're gonna actually, we need one more div. We need to wrap this image in a div, and we're going to give it a class of center block. All right. Now we'll do our image tag, and the source on that, these are the Levi's. So it was images, products, min4.png. We'll do an alt, and we'll say Levi's jeans. And let's also give this a class of details and image responsive. That's a bootstrap helper class that makes the image responsive. Okay, so that's our image. Let's go ahead and see if this works. Take a look at this real quick. So we just click on one of these buttons. Alright, it works. Something's wrong with it. We're not completely done. So let's see here. We have our image, and then let's see. In our other div here, the other half of the screen, we're gonna put an H4. I'm gonna say details. Alright. And then after that, let's do a paragraph with a description. You can type whatever you want here. I'm just gonna put something like, these jeans are amazing. They are straight leg, fit great, and look sexy. Get a pair while they last. Alright. After that, I'm going to do a horizontal rule. And then I'm going to do paragraph price $34.99. Right. And I'm going to do another paragraph tag, and I'm going to put brand Levi's, and we're going to do a form under that. But first, before we do the form, I want to go ahead and make sure we do our footer and make sure everything's working correctly. So let's see, after this div, after this, I'm going to find our modal body right here. Here's the div that closes that. So now I'm going to put another div, call it class equals modal footer. And again, sorry about the div soup, but really no way around it. Lots of divs. Just keep everything indented correctly and you can kind of see what goes where. In here we're just going to do two buttons. Give it a class of button default. Right? And also give it an attribute called data dismiss equals modal, and we'll put close. This will be our close button. It'll close the light box, and then we'll do one more button, and this will be the add button to a shopping cart. So this will actually submit. So we need to give it a type of submit because it's going to submit our form, which will handle all that later. So in this button, I'm going to type add to cart, and I want to have the little shopping cart thing. So I'm going to put a span in here as well. The span doesn't get anything in the middle, but it does get a class, and the class is glyphicon. Let's see if I can spell this. GLY PH icon, and then a class of glyphicon dash shopping dash cart. And again, you can look all this up at Bootstrap. Right. So this div here, yeah, so this is our modal from this div to this div. So let's make sure this works. Something's broke here. Not sure what I did wrong. Probably have a typo somewhere. Alright, so I'm going to pause the video until I find this typo. So Alright, I found the mistake here. And unfortunately we need one more div. So right here, after the div with the class of modal large, we need to wrap everything inside of a div with a class of modal content. And we'll close that div. Let's see. Right after, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 divs. So right here, alright, and I'm gonna fix my indenting, so everything up to that, what the heck, I have some problems here. I don't know if it's because I'm recording or what, but this screen is being crazy. My scrolling is. So modal, everything from this modal header down to here. I'm gonna go ahead and indent that over once. That way everything stays nice and keeping my code as clean as I can. So yeah, that's a barrel of fish hooks. But anyways, what we get is this. We still need to work on centering this image here on this half of the screen, but we have our details, and we're going to add a form in here. So let's go ahead and add the form, and then we'll worry about centering that image up. So back in our div, our modal body here, underneath the brand Levi's, we're going to add a form. We're going to give that form an action of add underscore cart.php. We'll add that later. We're going to do method post. Alright, open and close our form tags. Alright, so I need a div here with a class of form group. Alright, so inside of this form group, I'm going to I'm going to do a div, another div, class, and what I'm doing here is I'm putting an input inside of this div, and I'm giving it a class with a column so that I can control the size of it. So I'm just going to give it a 3. If you don't know what I'm doing, you could just add the input without that, but It's a lot easier to control the size of that like this. It's actually the way that Bootstrap recommends it on their site. I would do it differently if I was just doing CSS. I would just control the width of it. But since we're using Bootstrap, I'm not going to do that. My cat is chewing up my cables while I'm trying to record. Between my dog licking itself all nasty, the dishwasher, the cat, and just me sucking in general, this video is just going to be very interesting, or not interesting I should say, to watch. But that's okay. Maybe you'll learn something anyway. Alright, so where was I at here? Oh yeah, label. So we're going to do for quantity. I think that's how you spell quantity. And quantity. Alright, close that label tag here. And now we'll do the input. Type equals text. Class equals form control. ID equals quantity. Name equals quantity as well. And that's that. Alright. So next what I want to do is a paragraph tag. And what we're going to do here is available 3. Alright. Stop, cat. It's chewing the Velcro on my cord on my charger. It sounds crazy. Alright. So now we're going to do, back up here. We're done with that form control. Or wait a minute. Actually, this needs to be on the outside of the class here. Alright. And we're going to create another div. Class form group. If you guys hear me murder my cat, don't call PETA on me, but I might murder this cat. Oh, he ran off. He heard me say that. I wouldn't murder a cat, by the way, but it's a figure of speech. Probably not funny. Do label for size, and close our label tag here. We are almost done, I promise. Just hang tight. Now our size, this is actually going to be a select, and we're going to give it a name of size, an ID of size, class of form control. Whoa. Form control. Man, it's getting late. Alright. And I will close the select. Alright. Then we need to give it some options in here, and we're just going to do for first option. Dang it. Option. We're going to give it a value of nothing. That's just going to be a blank option. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy that. We're going to do 4 of them. So let's do here and here. We're going to do, say, 28. Here and here. 32. These are just going to be our sizes. and then we'll do 36. Right. Alright, well, I think we are actually done. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Refresh the page. Open it up. So, size. See, our size isn't showing up. What did I do wrong there? Oh, you guys should have caught that. Maybe you did, but I didn't actually put anything in that label. So there's that, and then we gotta go and actually do our styles for the images to get that centered. So the way we're going to target that is we're going to target an image, so all of our image with a class of details. That's what that is. So image img with class of details, plural. I think that's what we called it. I'm going to give it a width of 33% of its container. I'm going to give it some margin, and we'll say 15 pixels on the top and bottom, and we'll say auto for left and right, which will center it. And let's take a look at that. That should, yep, so that centers the image right here, and we have our add to cart button, which will submit. This size right here, let's see, I guess I can do a break. I don't really like adding markup to fix that, but let's see, right before here, let's do a BR tag. Let's see what that does. Refresh the page. I think it's because we have this right here, so let's just go ahead and add a div right here, give it a class, column extra small, and we'll say 9, so that makes it 12. So basically we have this column of 3 here, this column of 9. I don't know if that's going to do anything or not. No. Let's give it one more break. Alright, well, that looks a little better. So, do our quantity here is 3 available, add to cart, boom. That does nothing now, but that will add that to the cart later. Got our, so looking good. Right now, every one of these buttons open that same modal because it's the only modal we have. Later we're going to do that to where it generates that. Each one of these will have their own ID associated with them, so they'll create a new modal based upon that ID, and we'll have our shopping cart and everything else. So now we're to the point of our entire UI is done for now. In the next video, we will probably go ahead and set up our database, and we'll start adding some content to it and see if we can start getting rid of some of the static content on here and make it dynamic with our database. So I'll see you in the next video.